And everybody knew in class that this guy loves computer science. And when the madam is teaching, in fact, the madam could feel it that this guy loves computer. We are seated, and I'm looking at her, and I'm smiling.
You're
I'm smiling. I'm just like, wow. You know, like everybody is there for the sake of the test. Me, I was like, wow, really? That's what happened? Charles Babbage is the father of computer science? Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I did, I got the computer science material and audioized it. Notes are not narrative. They are literally notes and points. So what I did was I changed the grammar to make them sound like someone is explaining them.
Okay.
So when I went for the exam meeting, it's just in my ears, you know. During lunchtime, put headsets, I'm just meditating.
The one from Fumbwe, the mentor. What about the famous VOP and development?
Oh.
Hello and welcome to our today's episode, and I'm joined by
me, of course, Aubrey Matende.
Alright, Aubrey Matende has been a good brother and friend of mine for some time. For how long have we been friends?
For more than 10 years.
Yeah, more than 10 years.
More than 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, and today we are talking about technology.
Yes.
People should get used to your face because throughout the episodes that we have aligned, you'll be our chief guest to discuss various matters that talk about technology. And today we are talking about your journey. Yeah. Tell us more. How did your journey start with technology, and why did you choose the route of technology?
Okay. First of all, I'm very honored to feature I'm very honored to feature in this program and on this channel. Yes, it's thank you very much for inviting me. And so
we've been doing about you featuring.
Yeah. So okay. So basically, first, before I grew up wanting to do medicine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I grew up wanting to do medicine. Yeah. So the influence behind my growing up, because I grew up in a medical setup.
Okay.
Yeah, so like the only career I knew in my life was medicine and teacher.
And the teacher.
And when they're like, okay, so do you want to do medicine or to become a teacher? They're like they elevate and then they. Well, of course, it's automatic that you choose medicine. And as we go to know some other careers like being a lawyer, there's a lot of lying that side. So like you automatically start hinging towards it. Medicine.
That's how you grew up with the perspective.
Yes.
Okay.
But my passion for technology started way back when I was young. My family, for some reason, they trusted me with the technology. When they had problems, they would bring to me. Even when I was even before I even went to grade 12.
Okay.
Yeah, they would trust me. So I used to connect those small phones. There was those time when internet settings were not automatic. Like you had to manually set them.
Yes.
Those days, Dad bought me a Chinese phone.
Okay.
Those days when Android was not there yet. Yeah, Dad bought me a Chinese phone. Those my Chinese touch screens. Those where when you press it, it even goes inside the bit.
Yes.
And those same ones. Yeah. So I took it to a shop so that they can help me connect it to the internet.
Okay. So
those guys charged me 20 kwacha, but the mistake they made was to do the job while I was looking.
So it became a business for you as well.
Yeah, so I was like, I spent 20 kwacha and this is this. That's what they were doing. From that day onwards, I was connecting internet, setting in like the whole village where I used to stay in Chongwe, Kaveleka. I used to do internet settings for the whole village. Like I was the only one who knew how to do them. Entrepreneurs, they trusted, that kind of trust that they had was that it was just take it to Aubrey, it's done. Nothing, no two ways about it. Yeah, so that was it. But
were you charging? That's out of curiosity. Were you charging now that you was?
No, as in I didn't have I business mind then.
Okay.
If I had a business mind, if I was charging even a 5 kwacha, I would have been rich by now. But yeah, basically, business mind was not really
One of
there
them.
yet. Yeah, and we were not raised to be business people.
Okay.
We were not surrounded by business people.
people.
So it was it. Yeah, so it never clicked. I never even knew what business was. I knew that people sell things, but I didn't know it was something you could do on your own. You get ka?
Okay, then
Yeah.
fast forward now, you had a thought of, is it grade 12 now? Or?
Yeah, so when I completed school, I applied at CBU. Yeah, and then, you know, I met a friend. His name is James.
Oh, James.
Yes, James Mfarari from Chongwe. So he had a different mindset. He's the first business-minded person I've met.
Okay.
He had a different mindset, you know, like he was like, you know, you have to, you don't have to work for others, you know, and you know, when you know, being a slave, I never knew all that, but after I thought about how mom and dad used to work, they used to do night shifts, they would come back tired, they didn't have time for us, that much time, and then I was like, guys, will I manage? I started having second thoughts about it, yeah. So I was deep into the youth ministry then.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved the youth
so
ministry.
By second thoughts, you mean you going into medicine?
Yes, the second thoughts, I was thinking twice about doing medicine.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now at this time, you are so much into youth ministry.
Yes, I'm so much into youth ministry.
Yeah.
So you find that at that time, I was, you know, I was organization oriented. Like I would look at, when I was doing Master Guide, I used to read that manual. I read it more than 15 times, the Pathfinder Administrative Manual, all those manuals.
Okay.
So now what I used to do was like, the manual has a templates of how you run a club, like documentation.
Yes.
So I would get those templates, make my own documentation from them, and then build a system out of that. So I would go at church, practice that leadership with the Pathfinders. I would assign, you know, you are the scribe, you are the captain, you are the club secretary, and then I would give them the work. I've already done the structure. Their job is just to feed in. Yeah, and you know, the club became the most organized. So that's how I was recognized at the district, and then started doing the same at the district.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now from there, I was all in, and then I was always fun with the youth president, moving around, and you know, I gained my own reputation. Yeah. So now after that, you know, from there, the paperwork was so manual that it was a bit tedious.
Okay.
So that is how we started digitizing it using a database management, the USB, what do you call it? Microsoft Access.
Okay. Access, one of the packages.
For Microsoft. I learned Microsoft Access. We digitized. It was like, we want to create a Pathfinder database. Pathfinder database.
Which district was that then?
Which
district?
Chanibana Mission District.
Okay, yeah.
So now, we tried to make, now, you know, as we were struggling, I didn't even understand databases then. I was just filling in the data and it wasn't even making sense. Then, there's this man, he came. Because we had it in our idea, because you know, it was hard, like managing the whole district. It was big. Chanibana Mission is a very big district. It was a bit hard managing it because, you know, like, you know, setting exams, Ishani. So then we're like, is it possible if we can build a system where, you know, people can take exams online?
Oh, yeah.
We just had the idea, but we didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So we met an elder.
Okay.
We met an elder. I was the admin elder for Chanibana University then, in the university church. So now when we met him, he came to us, you know, you guys, you know, his job, he had his own purpose and his own goals in life, which by involving us, he was trying to involve us. So he told us, no, you know, in Chanibana, you youths, you're too much on social media. You know, those gadgets, those phones you have, you could actually use them to learn anything. Anything, yeah. So, you know, you can learn as many things as you can. You know, you can learn, you can build your own website. You know, that system you've been trying to build, you can build your own, you can manage it. So me there, I was like, You know, my friend, he didn't care, but for me,
You
it was
became-
everything.
Okay. It was no longer a challenge.
Yeah, it was
a wake-up
everything.
call.
Yeah, it was everything. I was like, wait a minute, I could do that too.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, at that moment, you know, I used to look at WhatsApp, Facebook as things that are unreachable. Like you can't make anything like that.
Mm.
You get ka?
Then the aha moment
But,
came.
then I was like, wait a minute, I can do that. Yeah, okay. The moment we left that elder's house,
Went home.
I went home on my phone, Googled how to make an app.
Okay. Tell me about
Yeah.
it.
Googled how to make an app. Yeah. I scraped through, found some links. There's this link he gave us called edX.
Okay.
So I tried to learn Java
Mm.
on edX. It was hard.
Okay.
I wasn't understanding anything. Yeah, I wasn't understanding. Basically, programming was very hard for
you.
me. Yeah, it was very hard. I learned. I would take like 3 weeks learning, and I haven't achieved anything. Yeah, it was very discouraging. And you know, like when you're programming and then it just writes hello world. Like it doesn't make sense. I was like, how is this to Facebook? I'm looking at Facebook as the output.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm looking at the words on the console. Have you seen command prompt?
I've just seen X equals hashes.
I mean, on Windows, command prompt.
Yeah.
It's a command line interface, so you just type commands and then
I think I'm not aware of that.
all right, I will send the screenshot. So you know that command line, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that's how it brought results. You don't need to click a button in order for you to invoke an action. Okay. You need to type it.
Okay.
You know, type number 1 to select this, type number 2, like USSD.
Oh yes,
that's how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the program worked. Yeah. So
doing it at 10.
That is exactly how it was working. So now I'm like, how do I get from this to this? That was my question. And as I was learning programming, I was like, no, it's not making sense. Yes. Like when my brain can't.
It's not braining.
Yeah, for me to understand something, I must see the end result.
And then at least something should motivate you that you're in the right direction.
I must see the end result. Then I don't know, it just opens up and then I start understanding. You get. So I went online again. I was like, I can't take this and I can't do this. I stopped studying programming. And then I started, I Googled again how to develop an app. So now it brought some links, AppyPie, and it brought AppyPie. It's a website where you just drag and drop a few components and then it compiles them into an Android app.
Okay.
Yeah. So I looked at it, I explored it a bit, I tried to build something. It wasn't making sense, but it was, at least I could install it on my phone and it was working. That was motivation, you know.
It gave me some hope now.
Yeah, it gave me some hope.
Okay.
Yeah, it gave me some hope. Now the challenge was it wasn't satisfying. Like the functionality was limited. Like they were pre-built templates which I could just drag and drop there, but it wasn't achieving what I wanted. So I was like, this thing is not. And plus, the app, it was bringing, you know, the splash screen was bringing AppyPie. I don't want it to bring AppyPie. I wanted to bring my logo or something. Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm not satisfied. So I Googled again how to build an app, and then it brought several platforms where I could do that. And then I came across this platform they call Sketchware.
Okay.
Yeah, Sketchware is an Android app that you use to build Android apps.
Okay.
So now this app, this is exactly what changed my view of programming and Android development.
Okay.
Yeah, because with it used a programming language called block programming.
Okay.
Where you get blocks that represent logics, and then you stack them based on what they represent. Okay. For example, if for example this button, and when you click it, what should happen? So you go to the blocks of that button, and then you say, I want it to I want it to bring a pop-up saying how are you.
Okay.
So you get like a pop-up block,
Then you
you
put
put it there,
so that once
and
it's
then when you click it, the
does
pop-up
it,
comes.
yes.
Exactly.
Fine.
So now the block programming covers a lot of programming basics.
Okay.
And as I grew to understand block programming, it actually opened my mind to understand Java and these other programming languages.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was from that app that I built the original design for the master guide app. Mentor app.
Yes, the mentor app. Okay.
Yeah, that is where it was born.
Okay, we'll talk about it more as we are going.
Yeah, that is where it was born. So I learned that you could get a JSON string, you inject it as raw as it is in the app, in the block code, and then it will read the JSON, and then it will display them as questions on the app. So I just had to build the interface, and that my questions, you click the button, it checks the JSON string if it's correct, and then it will mark you correct. If it's wrong, it will mark you wrong.
Now, was that period to your training in at university, or because I've not heard of the part when now, because what I've heard is is it grade 12, then you meet this elder, you're active in ministry who challenges you, then you take that course. Now, as you took these courses in programming, was it at the time you were already in school, or was it a time prior to you choosing which program you should do at college?
I was not at school yet.
You're not at school. Oh, all right.
That was before I went to CBU.
Okay.
Yes. So that was before I went to CBU. So I was like, in December I'm going to CBU.
Okay.
That was the period. Yeah, December I'm going to CBU. Then that's the period when I discovered I made all those discoveries. So I went to CBU when I was already developing on my when I was developing apps on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So I developed the app, like it really worked and people liked it. Yeah, and by that time the app had up to section 3.
Okay.
Yeah, the app had up to section 3. So when I went to school, I used the same app. I was on it. I never used to study that much, especially during go slow.
Okay, tell me about it.
Especially during go slow when I went to school.
Yeah.
These other. I used to study, but in as much as I used to study, I always used to find time, no matter how hard school is. I always used to find time to code, to build, to continue building. So now, computer science, like biology, there's this app called Khan Academy.
Okay.
That's what I used to study: biology, chemistry, physics. They had notes. The notes are a bit similar to CBU notes.
Okay.
So at least it was a bit easy to understand because the guy knows how to explain. Now, computer science, the notes were bulky and you can't study on your phone. And by that time, my computer, I lost the charge. And those chargers are rare. You have to import one. Yeah. So I lost. So my computer was off the whole time. So I needed a way to study on my phone. And I was like, okay, I think I need to build an app for that.
Okay.
So I built an app to study computer science. Yeah, I built an app. It was, I could just, I never needed effort. Like, you stand up, you go to class to study. I just need to open my eyes, reach out to my phone, open the app and study.
That was the vision.
Yeah, that was my vision. Okay. That was what I was thinking about. I was like, no, because on the small phone, you have to put it properly so that you can be scrolling and then you scroll back. That was tedious.
Okay.
Yeah, it was tedious. So I was like, if you can only press, and then everything is there, and then you just scroll downwards, and then if there are questions, you answer a bit the way Solomon is. So I was like, okay, I think I can do that. So I designed the app, I built it, I injected notes, I injected the whole section 1. Section 1, I don't know, it was unit 1. I injected the whole unit 1, I tested it, I studied, it worked. Then I was like, the problem has been solved. Yeah, the problem has been solved. Yeah. So that is how I built it up. Yeah. But really, what my passion really was, because in first year, I still have. I've been using from the time I went to CB. I've been using these sticky notes.
Oh
you've
yeah,
noticed,
sticky
if
notes.
you've noticed, I've been using this.
Oh yeah.
These notes go way back up to when I was in first year.
Oh.
So I have a lot of memory. Sometimes I just remember things I wrote a long time ago, and then I come back and I'm like, yeah,
This is what happened.
yeah. So some of the principles I used to write them down just.
Mm.
So now there's what's this? I was like, okay, I want to start a company, but I don't know what it's going to be doing.
Mm.
I don't know what it's going to be doing. And that was in first year, January. I was like, I want to start a company, but I don't know what it's going to be doing.
Mm.
And then I was praying to God, Lord, I need direction for my company. And I prayed and I prayed and prayed. And then I looked at the Master Guide Mentor app. In fact, the Master Guide Mentor app, my phone fell in the toilet. The one that had the project for the Master Guide Mentor.
Okay, yeah.
Then when I bought my charger for the PC,
yes,
when I bought it, I was like, okay, I can't start afresh there. At least I've known how it works now. I have to learn programming and do it from my PC.
Yeah.
So I had to redevelop it on my PC. That
okay.
was in 2020 when I did that. Then I even uploaded it on Play Store.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it was then when it clicked that wait a minute, okay, youths, okay, my vision was, okay, youths are, there's trends, what's trending, social media misleading them. What if we could have something for the youths, but church tailored? It's an app that works like social media, but instead of growing away from God, you grow towards God. That was the whole essence behind it. So the app was to have all the materials you need, spiritual growth tools. Now it was in the context of youth ministry, so youth materials and Ellen White books and everything you might need. So now it tracks your progress in such a way that it is able to. Have you used Duolingo?
Duolingo, no, not yet, but I've seen its promotion of how
when you're using it, even if you don't want to use you like, there's the way it is, like it gives you points, it gives you targets, it creates like a poster for you so that you can share your progress on your status and stuff like that.
I've heard it also has quite unique notifications that come so that you are reminded of you taking the course.
Those things, that's exactly what my vision was then before I even met Duolingo. So like points, you go into levels, the leaderboard, you're able to compete. Like, okay, in the process of you studying, answering questions, understanding, having knowledge over the Bible, you get to grow spiritually. And as a result, with that, that desire to want to not to be left behind by those who are also doing it. As have a community of youths who are growing spiritually, and so if it's a challenge, let's say we have May challenge, we need to finish Desire of Ages. People will be there reading Desire of Ages, Desire of Ages on the app, and then they will be posting and all that. Yeah, that was exactly what was in my mind at that time. Yeah, and I was like, okay, so people can have these courses as well, like Master Guide Youth and the Adventurer Pathfinder. They can have all those courses. They can be available there. They can be certified. Like, that data is very useful. I don't know if you've read those manuals. Those manuals have data that we take for granted.
Leadership.
Yes, leadership.
How to choose careers and the like. Quite a number of insights.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's quite a lot. Yeah, so people could use all that. Yeah, they could use all that, and the badges could actually accumulate on the app.
Okay.
Yeah, where you could see them accumulating.
Okay.
Then you could say, okay, these are my achievements. Then you can go buy physical ones and put on your uniform. Yeah, so that was basically the vision that I really had, and I was like, okay, this could reduce the amount of time people spend on social media. Because people would actually be on the same app, would have like a social media section where people post their progress, and the people can follow each other. They can like posts, not posting their personal photos. Maybe they can post, at a youth program they post, they're writing exams, they post, they can do that, but not other personal life stuff. Yeah, so it could just be church related content that could be there. So, and then so like We could have people streaming, like for example, if the youth director from the conference is announcing something, they would go on the app and then they would announce, and then everybody goes and they watch. Like, yeah, like it's like a go-to place where you find information, refreshment, like everything. It gives that spiritual atmosphere where spiritual recreation. That spiritual atmosphere. Yeah, that is basically what I had in mind when I was building, when I was the idea behind the Master Guide Mentor app. Yeah.
So that's now in your first year at CBU.
Yeah, that was in my first year at CBU.
So now, then I'm sure in your first year at CBU, most of the people who are selected there, they have to choose which path they should follow.
Yes.
And I'm sure as you are about to take the break, this is the part we want you to explore more, because we are at the crossroad. There's you now who has had this new liking for technology. You talk of how you saw the man building something that you were surprised of, how you feel like you've been robbed in some way. You saw how he was able to do the internet connections. Later on, you are able to, you talked about how your challenges in terms of building apps, go to Java, lessons you failed. Then later on, now you're able to do something that is feasible, you're able to see it and you're able to interact with it. And yet ahead of you, there's this part now where you still growing up, like in your preliminaries, you mentioned that you thought you would be now a medical doctor, and now there's this new about technology. So we'll kindly explore that just right after this break. So join us as we come back, as we continue to explore about the journey. Welcome back on board as we are talking about the journey. So right before the break, we were talking about how now you are in your first year and you stand at the crossroads.
Yes.
Which roads I'm skeptical to mention either on the right or on the left, which was the right or which was on the left. But how then now that did you arrive at the destination to say, okay,
I'm doing computer science?
Yes.
Okay. That was okay. So now what happened was I got to know about other careers when I went to CBU.
Okay.
I knew there was engineering, but I didn't know there was different aspects of engineering and stuff like that. But I got to know most of these things when I went to CBU. But I knew there was software engineering.
Okay.
I didn't know that computer science you could develop software. So I found out that at CBU there's no software engineering. So I was like, okay, I'll just do medicine. Then I'll be doing computer science on the side. I mean, I'll be learning programming on the side.
Okay.
So maybe I would end up programming medical apps or something. That was in my mind. But as I found out that there's programming in computer science, my career options started to shift. I was like, okay, why don't I just do computer science? And I was growing in love, I would get even in class it would show. Okay. Computer science A+, everything else B, A, C. Yeah, it was a bit complicated. Yeah. So everybody knew in class that this guy loves computer science, and when the madam is teaching, in fact, the madam could feel it that this guy loves computer science. The computer science lecturer,
okay, she
could feel that this guy loves computer science. Like we are seated, and I'm looking at her, and I'm smiling.
I'm
smiling. I'm just like, wow. Like everybody is there for the sake of the test. Me, I was like, wow, really? That's what happened. Charles Babbage is the father of computer science. Wow, like she could see that he's fascinated, you get. Yeah, so that was what was happening, and I was like, okay, I've made my decision.
Okay,
I'm doing computer science, I'm teaching medicine. So that is how I eventually decided, because we closed for 6 months.
Was it during the not COVID?
Right, not COVID, it was right.
Yeah.
So when we closed for 6 months, that's the period where I also, yeah. So now in September, in August, I needed to choose to stay home and study for the test,
okay,
for the exams, or go for the camp meeting. Then I was like, I need to find a solution. Then I was like, what if I could do both?
At the com meeting, and you're also studying.
Yes.
Okay.
That is how I made the CS audios.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they still use them, but for the 3 years after I made those audios, people were still using them.
What are the CS audios?
Computer science audios, yeah.
Okay.
So what I did, I got the computer science material and audiolized it.
Using, is it TTS or
text to speak audio.
Okay.
So the original notes are not narrative; they are literally notes and points. So what I did was, I changed the grammar to make them sound like someone is explaining them.
Okay.
So it was hard work.
Okay.
It was hard work. Like I went in the notes, converted it to Word, and then I was literally rewriting certain aspects of it, and then I play it, and then, okay, here it sounds like it's just reading. Then I go there, I change and make it and add interjections and shine to make it sound that, okay, here someone is explaining something.
Oh yeah.
So I went through all the notes, did the hard work. There were some places where it wasn't reading properly. I had to like make changes to make it sound smooth until I made all the eight units. I converted them to audio. So when I went for the CAM meeting,
yeah,
it was just in my ears, I was like, during lunchtime, put headsets, I'm just meditating upon the audio. What? You're listening to music? Yes, I'm listening to music. The job.
So during the daytime when there's someone you're meditating upon the word of the words.
Yes, during the day, I'm there, I'm all in, I'm listening to the same one, I'm even contributing. Ham meetings, I love contributing. So I love sitting in front, I get into the lesson, I contribute something, ask questions. But when I'm not there, I was in my headsets, listening to the notes. Sometimes during lunchtime, I would just sleep with the audio, with the audio playing, and then I would just wake up. I just get surprised. I know things, like things, and like you're sleeping. The subconscious is a very powerful. It's the part of the brain we underestimate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there are things we passively consume that stick in the subconscious.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I didn't understand that then. I'm speaking now based on my current understanding of the power of the subconscious. Yeah. So okay. Then you find that after listening to the audios, and then when I go back to the notes, like, I didn't have to read as much as hard as everybody else was reading. Like, I would just go to the notes. I was like, okay, all right, I know this, and then I flip just like that. Like I was just revising. Yeah, that is how it was. But most of the work on computer science, because it's bulky, I think it was the only course that needed those audios because it was very bulky. Yeah, it was very bulky. Yeah. So that's really what happened. So when it came to selecting first choice, second choice, third choice, I selected computer science first choice, second choice computer engineering. All of them were just
under computer
science. Yeah, all of them were just under computer science. Then I was like, okay, so now my results turned out to be very good. My first year results.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had another friend. And then I asked him, why aren't you are you not going to do medicine? I was like, I think my heart lies in computer science. Yeah, because we were together. So like, even if our grades qualify for medicine, and yet we have still chosen to do computer science.
So in short, you did qualify for your results did qualify for medicine.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah, me, myself, and several friends of mine, we did qualify for medicine. But my other friend, he decided to do engineering instead.
No.
Yeah.
Now talk to me about, as we are all growing up, said that one thing that we all can't let go of is the guidance from our parents. I'm sure before you went, is it okay for me to assume that before you went to school, they thought you would become a medical doctor?
Yes. In fact, everyone at home. In fact, when I went back home, they were like, some people at home with elders at church, like, Aubrey, you've done medicine, right? You're almost done, right? You're done. You're graduating in medicine, right? And I was like, what? That's what you think I was doing?
But
I had forgotten a long time ago that
but how did you first of all take it? That okay, now there's this new path, and especially for the guidance, how did they take it at home when you mentioned that you have this new passion, which to them I'm sure it sounded foreign.
Yeah, they were disappointed. Yeah. So I had to tell them that okay, did qualify for medicine. So
Don't tell me. Okay.
yeah, it wasn't a good thing to do, but yeah, I told them that they were I'm going to do computer science. I assured them I love computer science, and I promoted it. I was like, there's money there. Kind of, that's the motivation. But for me, personally, my motivation for computer science was not to make money with it, but it was, like to contribute. How can I contribute to it? How can I contribute to God's work with technology? Not with technology. How can I develop software that contributes towards God's work? That was my vision.
That was your vision.
That was my vision. And whether I monetize that initiative or not, that depends on me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I looked into it, and I looked into it, and then I consulted. I read books about it. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, most of the church software we use, they are all monetized, including there's what they call the sound system, the SDA website. The templates are not free. Those templates, the official structure of the SDA website. Those are templates on WordPress. You can just go on WordPress, get the template, and then make your local church website look like the general conference website.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a template. You have to search for it, but it's not free.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not free. They sell. So basically, I was like, we can sell, but the motive is not the money. The motive is is the impact of the software on the church. Because what I noticed was we don't have much as a church. We don't have much software. In fact, if anything, the SAMS is coming up, but that's just.
Tell me about DSS.
That's just one aspect of it. Yeah, but there's a lot of places where we're lagging behind as a church. A lot of places we're lagging behind. And seeing this Bible app, this guy, Tinashe Mzondiwa,
yes, the one from,
he inspires me a lot.
Yes, this is the first time you mentioned that.
Yeah, he inspires me a lot. He developed such a powerful Bible app and a powerful Sabbath school app.
Yes.
Yeah, and the whole world uses it right now.
And now
the guys from South Africa.
Yes, talking about it, because I've noticed there are a lot of Sabbath school apps, but people tend to lean more
on that one. And as though that's not enough, the general conference saw it, and I don't know whether they bought it or what, but it became the official app for the general conference personal ministries department. And they've put all their materials on the app.
Yeah,
all the books.
Well.
Have you heard of the Grow initiative?
Yes, I have.
They've put that on the app. You can read about it, and all those to my individual books.
Yes,
there's materials on that Sabbath school. There's not only Sabbath school lessons there now. There's everything you need to know there. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of materials that they've put there. They've done some work on that app. Yeah, so
now look at the aspect.
Yeah.
Okay, it can be monetized. There's this part where you can also do what you love most.
Exactly. So I can do what I love most, and I can sustain. Yeah. So basically, when I look at, I don't know, God has like closed my okay. He has like I don't know how I feel. Like I don't really feel that motivated to like do like wild projects just for money without purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I like it. I like all the projects to be spiritually connected. Because we are in the bigger pictures. We are working. We are saving souls. That is our sole purpose individually. Yeah. So basically me choosing computer science was not to be under the control of other people, but to be free to be able to have my own direction that I can point at least to Christ. Christ. If I want to work for God or if I want to serve God all my life, I can do that. And that was my motivation. And you know what they used to say at home? This guy should just be a pastor, because like when they're discussing a Bible, when I just hear someone quoting a verse somewhere and people are arguing,
you just go there.
I would run there.
The same way you knew.
I was like, what's the topic? What's the verse? What are you talking about? Oh, really? Yes, in fact, if it also says in the book of like people knew me to be like that. So the mothers at church,
yes.
They would look and then they would be like, wow. Yeah, and when I started working with their children, they actually forced their children to come to church because of me. Like they're like, when they go to church, they learn and then they go home, they start talking. I used to teach those children prophecy. I don't know if they still remember. The children would go home, tell their parents, mom, do you know that the head of God in the book of Daniel, it stands for Babylon? Yeah, like they used to go home and they used to tell all these things to their parents, and then their parents, these children are learning a lot, so they would send them to church. I was alone. Yeah, and it was quite a wonderful experience. Yeah, so that was really the motivation. So now people are like, this guy should just be a pastor. So at some point I think I should just be a pastor. Yeah, I almost became a pastor.
Now, walk me through now. You've now chosen your path.
Yes.
And you did upload one app, which up to now we can talk about later on. Which other apps I know the motivation would have been on the spiritual part. What other apps did you develop then in your journey as you were still at school and now that you're now done with school?
Okay, for every problem I saw, I saw an app. Yeah, like I would look at the problem and then I'll be like, that thing needs an app.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were going for the mission. We didn't understand the language, so I was like, wait a minute, we need an app where we could learn language. What if we could learn language? We could be learning Kaonde when going for the mission.
Which mission? In longer one?
It was in 2019.
Okay, yeah.
2019 when I was in first year. So I was learning Android Studio when I was developing that app. The app is called Mufumbwe.
Okay.
I named the app Mufumbwe. It was built for Mufumbwe mission, and it had the Kaonde basics, everything you need to know about Kaonde. The app had everything. Yeah, so I uploaded the app on Play Store after the mission.
Okay.
Yeah, so people never really used it because the mission had already happened and it was there. It was no use, but I uploaded. So I lost the project, so it's not updated with the latest APIs, so it was removed from them. So I need to like recompile it with the current APIs for it to be able to be accepted again.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the first app I ever uploaded on Play Store. Fumbwe.
So was that after you did the mentor or?
No, the mentor app was still in its sketchware format.
Okay, yeah. So the Mufumbo one comes in.
So the Mufumbo one, the Mufumbo one comes in October when I developed it in 3 days. I developed that app in 3 days.
Were you sleeping?
I never slept. Okay. I was feeling guilty. The bus was, the big bus went. They left us behind. I'm the kind of person who doesn't rush into the bus. I've never looked for comfort. Especially when going for missions. And those people there are 2 buses. There's the big one, and then there's this one. Yeah. So now everybody rushed into the big one, and then a few of us gents remained behind.
Oh yeah.
So now we're like, okay, we need to pray because the bus was not coming. So we prayed. So now I forgot that I didn't sleep for 3 days.
Yes.
Literally not sleeping.
Okay.
Awake for 3 whole days. I was developing the app. Sometimes when I'm anxious, I fail to sleep.
Okay.
So I wasn't sleeping for 3 days. So now So now we are praying. When we finish, when we kneel down to pray, I would find myself sleeping.
Did they just mistake you for someone who's not possessed?
So you find that we are praying, they pray, and then they wake me up. Let's kneel down and pray. We all kneel down, we pray, and then I just find myself being woken up. Aubrey, we are finished praying. And I'm like, oh, am I sleeping? Okay, I felt guilty. I was like, okay, it's disrespectful to God. And I thought as though spiritually I was somewhere, I was disconnected. That's what I felt. Then it was a few years later when I realized that I didn't sleep for 3 days.
You mean so? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, gosh, I didn't sleep for 3 days. That's why I was dozing on. So every time like me, I believed that spiritually I was down that time. Yeah, but I just didn't sleep for 3 days. Yeah. So basically, that's the story behind the first app. And then during COVID, 2020, that is when I developed the Master Guide Mentor app.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah, I still have the mock-ups, my drawings on how it's going to look like. You have to like draw it first before you can. Yeah, I still have those drawings of the original design of the Mentor app. Yeah, I still have them. Yeah, I developed it from January, from the time we closed in March up to May, for 3 months, 2 to 3 months. Yeah, that's when I developed the app. So I developed the app, uploaded it on Play Store. The downloads started increasing. Yeah, so the downloads went up to 5,000. In 3 years, the downloads went up to 50,000.
50. Okay.
50,000 downloads. Yeah. Then I was like, okay, so this app can give me some money. Imagine if all those people were giving me $1 per month. I would have been rich by now. Yeah.
But you never chose that path.
Yeah, I never chose that path. But the path is coming. But I was like, okay, I reserved the app. Nobody else has developed something as sophisticated as that. Yeah, and so I have been working on something else, and this one is to complete the vision I had at first. Yeah.
Okay.
So I removed the word Master Guide from the name of the app. I just named it the Mentor app.
Which is better because it's now focusing on a lot of people, because now we have SYL.
It's broadening everything now.
PCM and
so there's all those. So now the app is so generic in such a way that you can add any lesson to it. Yes. And you don't have to recompile it. The app can be on Play Store. People are using it, and then the next time they open it, they find 5 more lessons.
Okay.
Uploaded on the app. Yeah.
But who will be uploading it for me?
So the app will have a structure. So people from respective districts can upload content on it. People from the conference can upload their content on it. People from the general conference can also put their data on it. Yeah. So basically, then there will be the main app, the main data. That is designed for the app that will be put there by me in the team. Yes, so that was basically there. So now the app would have a side where you are monitoring. You're monitoring people's progress, how far they are going. If they complete, you give a certificate. So what I've been doing, I've given over 50 certificates.
Okay.
Yeah, the same old app. So now people have been completing it. Those questions are hard. Those questions are hard. So those guys I was giving them juice for them to be able to complete all those 15 sections. So people are sending me screenshots. Brother Aubrey, I saved myself as Dr. Aubrey. So when they see that, they think I'm a doctor. So they're like, Dr. Aubrey, Dr. Aubrey, I've completed all the 15 sections. What do I do now? Does it mean that I'm now ready to become a master guide? Those are the questions I keep getting. That's what has been motivating me to complete the app, which is complete. Yes, so I'm just in talks with one of the conferences. Maybe we can do a pilot project there.
Last time when Pastor Parker from the general conference visited, you wanted to engage.
Yeah, he was too busy. That thing where they.
But have you by chance also engaged our local leaders at conference levels?
Yes, I spoke to Pastor Chipolo. He said he's going to talk to the conference leaders so that when they sit down in a meeting, they invite me, I introduce the idea to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was the idea. So now I waited until I finished the app so that I have something to show them. Yeah, so now it's done. So I'm yet to now re-engage the director so that we can
look at the way forward.
So
you've talked of 2 apps so far, and these are mission oriented.
Yes.
James is the guy you first mentioned who introduced you to business.
He introduced me to motivational talks when Les Brown, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, like I started listening to all those motivation. You can, you are shining, there's greatness within you. Yeah, so yeah, I started listening to like those. Yeah, so like they really gave me some self-esteem. Yeah, I was able to
develop some apps also for business purposes.
Not really. The apps I've developed are apps that, let's say a client comes and then says, okay, we want you to develop an app for us. Okay. Those are the apps I've been able to develop. Okay. Yeah, but for personally, when it comes to business, purely business oriented apps, I haven't done that. Okay. Yeah, I may not do that. Yes, because that's not my focus. That's not my aim. Yeah, but if it's partnering with someone to develop that, I may do that. But not from. I developed a branding around the apps that I'm developing. Yeah, so I may develop apps for it. I was looking at certain apps that may help literature evangelists sell their books. Yes, like you are there, you buy a book online and then it reaches. Yeah, for literature evangelists. Yeah, then we have children's books. And I was like, okay, so all the books that authors have ever written, what if they could publish those books on the app so that people can read online?
There's like Kindle edition,
but for Adventist books. There's Ellen White writings. Now there's only Ellen White books there. Now what if we could have all the books in one place? And then people pay a subscription fee to be able to access those books, and then authors receive their commissions based on who's reading their book. That was a business model. It's a powerful business model. Yeah, so that is exactly what I had. So now it's just resources that have yeah. So but right now I'm just building a foundation. I'm focused on one app. When that app is finalized and it's working and it's generating income, then we can now focus on everything else.
Yes. So walk me through now. You've talked about quite a number of apps that you developed, one of which is the one from Fumbwe and the Mentor. What about the famous VOP and Riverview apps?
Oh yeah, those ones. Okay, so I've developed the I had at first in 2021 to 2022. I had developed I think it's still there on Play Store, an app called the RVC Updates.
Okay.
Yeah, so this app that was basically, as I said, every problem I saw, I threw up to it. So we were doing the bulleting. It was hard.
Oh yeah, where you always come with a bulletin.
Yeah, so like bulletins, papers, typing stuff, it was hard. So I was like, what if we built an app?
Spoke to the elders.
Yeah, so I didn't speak to the elders. It was a secret. So what I did was I got the bulletin, every aspect of it. When you're looking at the app, people this is a digitized version of the bulletin. The people could tell because it had the Sabbath worship, Sabbath school, the program, and it even had who's on duty and the announcements, Shani, it had everything. Yeah, but when I developed it, I uploaded it on Play Store and then I advertised it. But okay, people installed it and we used to post announcements on it. We started using it, but we really didn't adopt. It wasn't really adopted. It wasn't taken as seriously as it was supposed to. So that is when now someone saw the RVC updates app, and they wanted something to do with outreach.
Yeah.
So that is how I developed something completely different, which was the RVC outreach app.
Yeah.
Yes, now this one's job was to track outreach activities from putting your time management there to when you do home visitation, you indicate when you visit homes, when you distribute literature. So it had all the statistics, the number of literature that was distributed, the number of books, which is the number of literature, the number of houses you visited, the number of the number of activities that you've done. Like it had everything. It had a way of reporting.
In about now the VOP app, which is an
Yeah.
international app for me.
Yeah, so yeah, that app, people from India download it. Yeah, so for the VOP app, okay, that one, it started as I was developing it for myself. Yeah, there was somebody who asked me to develop it for him, then they disappeared. So now that's how. Now the church was like, okay, Aubrey, help us develop for us the VOP app. So I just got the same project and added the features that the church wanted, and then I handed it over to them. So now the app had the ability to you can it can capture those who are taking the lessons, and then when they complete the lessons, they qualify for graduation. It gives them the certificate. At the same time, it gives you a list of those who have completed, who are ready for graduation. And when they graduate, they go on the graduated students.
Oh, okay.
And then as you are doing the lessons, there's a part where it asks you if you want to be baptized.
Okay.
So you can call for baptism in the app, and then the person gets called for baptism, and then they tick, and then they enter their contact details, and then they are contacted for baptism. Yes.
Amazing.
So yeah, basically that was the idea of the app. So now the app is now in full swing. People are now using it, but we haven't yet heard of any results yet, because we are yet to have our first graduation this year.
I'm hoping they'll invite you for the graduation.
I'm also hoping for the same, because I also completed the lessons. I'm one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you are walking the talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make the app, use the app. You know what I say? You know what they say?
So that you know the ins and outs, and also how to improve it. And
yes. So so we're working. So now both the outreach app and the RVC, they are currently under migration. So the outreach app is done. Migration. So now we will be starting the VOP app. Yeah, we'll be starting the VOP app in terms of migrating them to the new technology that makes them faster, easier to use, the more refined interface, modern looking, with more pictures now, with notifications and everything that a model then app comes with. Yeah, so yeah, it should be commissioned next week or the other week. Yeah, depending on how fast I'll be when to fixing the small tweaks and errors that are remaining. Yeah, so yeah, basically that's that on those two.
Yeah, you seem to have. I understand it's a thing of policy where you can't mention more of the other apps that you may have developed for other people, and we very much appreciate. And for me, I appreciate the insights where you've shared with us the Aubrey app, the toilet, the phone that's dropped in the toilet, unfortunately. And most recently, the VOP app that you have talked is being integrated with the RVC app, and the Mighty Mentor app, which we are yet to see its rebirth time and again once approval from various stakeholders. So I would love us to take a short break, and after a short break, I would want to hear from you, because technology is something that we all can't ignore. It's something that we should just embrace. So in a nutshell, I want to hear from you. Someone would maybe say it's a student or a parent or whoever it may be, they will just want to know the nitty-gritties of technology. How would you advise them to go about it in their journey? So stay tuned and continue to delight in him as we'll hear on the other end.
Yay! Okay, so now click it and click again. Huh?
No, it's okay. I'll edit it and cut it. It's
Alright.
much better.
Alright, okay, so basically now we are all caught up. Now this is when we're starting what we're supposed to start next.
Yes.
Okay, which was what?
It's me now. The aspect of people starting.
Huh?
The aspect of people starting their
Oh.
own journey. Yeah.
Okay, yes, go on.
So welcome back. As we earlier spoke to you, we want to hear from you. Someone is interested in tech, and let's talk about tech. How can they start about their journey in technology?
Okay. Okay. So my advice to such a one is, first of all, you need a purpose. First of all, you need to identify your interest in tech and your passion in it, and then from there, passion in tech alone without direction is not something that can take you anywhere. You're just interested in tech alone, but tech alone is not the destination. Yeah, so the destination is what do you want to achieve with it. So what exactly, where do you see yourself with tech? That is where the passion is. So if you want to build apps, you can't build apps in all aspects. Maybe there's a trouble, there's something that's been troubling you, and there's this problem that's been troubling you, and you would like to solve it with tech. And that is what was the driving force for you loving tech. And that is the niche that you will need to find for you to so that is so if there's someone out there who wants to pursue their career in tech,
Find a niche.
Yes.
They found the niche, and now how do they acquire the skills?
Okay, it's easy to learn these things. Okay, it was a bit difficult in our time because we had to watch videos and understand them on our own, and the data we had to scrape the data online. For example, when you are trying to program and you come across errors, you have to dig through Stack Overflow. You had to dig through websites, try to read through the documentation to understand where you went wrong. But now you're just a prompt away. you just say, okay, I do not know. Okay, so you can use AI to learn. Don't use AI don't make AI develop for you the whole thing. That way you will lose out because you won't learn, and AI is the one that will learn. So make sure that when you are developing an app or anything in tech, you ask AI in a way that you also get to learn from it. Yes, for example, if you're building an app, you're like, okay, so how can we do this? You brainstorm together. For example, if you're building an app, you brainstorm together with AI. You're like, okay, so how can it be? So we need clients. Okay, we also need people to be entering data. So you let the AI help you brainstorm. Then when you finish brainstorming, it will give you ideas. And that way you will have an insight. It's different from asking it, I need an app that does this, this, and this. Write the code, and then it writes all the code. The app even looks nice. You even deploy it. You wouldn't have learned anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's better that you do things in a step by step in such a way that you get to learn from the chatbot. Yeah. But for everybody who's pursuing technology now, AI is definitely part of your journey because late adopters always find it hard to thrive. Those who have, for example, technology has been evolving for a long time.
Yes, yeah.
There are new technologies. There's Flutter, there's .Maui, cross-platform technologies. There are those who are like us. We just use Xamarin, for example. See those who develop in C#. They just say us. We just be using Xamarin, and now there's Maui. It's even better than Xamarin. And people who use Xamarin, they are stuck with their Xamarin, and it's being phased out. And those who are using those early adopters of Maui, they are in a better position. It's the same thing with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has come is to embrace it. There are those projects that are charged, what can I say? They are AI intensive projects. Yeah. To embrace the technology, learn about it, learn how to use it in a way that it teaches you as well, because there will be times when you go and you'll be somewhere where there will be no internet, but you'll be required to develop a fast solution. You would need, by that time you would need to come up with something immediately. You get, yeah. So while you still have access to it, so just use it to, yeah. Otherwise, AI is a tool that can help you learn faster. Yes, and it's the easy, it's kind of the easiest way to get into tech these days, yeah. And it's easy to learn because you can just prompt, okay, teach me networking, and then it will teach you nicely
how to go about
step by step. Yes.
Yeah. So if I'm glad to have heard from you on how to go about it. One of which, from what I've heard, is find a niche. What is it that you really want to get out of your journey? And the other one is use tools, among us, which is AI. And I'm sure for us who are not into tech, we can actually also delve into channels that teach about these skills, because one of the things that you've mentioned is AI could be there to guide you on how to go about it, and maybe there's some videos will tell you how to go about it theoretically. So it's been a pleasure talking to you. One challenging statement that I heard, which speaks more to our episode today, is how it's important then, even for me and anyone out there who's listening, that it's not always about money. Owing to what you have said, that your journey fueled with success, though it may be, it was not the money that you are chasing after. I'm glad more than 500,000 people, is that you said that, is it 50,000 people are able to download and use various apps. And we're talking about more than 1,000, almost, maybe if we add 250,000, meaning we have about 100,000 of people who have used different apps, who all stem from your influence because you took that step. I don't know if I'm so early to say that maybe you have already touched a lot of hearts than you if you chose the medicine way. I don't know. But all I can say is we thank God for this influence, and we don't take it lightly.
Thank you.
My prayer is you continue also to delight in Him in this journey.
Yeah, we are going to delight.
Yeah. Any last words that you have for anyone who's viewing us as we look forward to another episode?
Okay. So my last words are, we all have we have all gone through different things, and our experiences shape who we are now. Yes, and some are negative experiences and some are positive experiences, and if there were negative experiences that we had, and they've shaped who we are now, we can change those experiences. We can change those aspects that we've grown into to become positive people, and we can transform them to become negative experiences. Yeah, and we all have different passions. Some of us are from the technological aspect. Others are from different technologies, and and you don't have to hold back on your passion and on your purpose and everything. Yeah, so you need to stick to it and work towards it, and eventually you'll get there.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It reminds me of the life of Joseph.
Oh yes.
And Daniel. And the Bible sums it up in the book of Romans chapter 8, says, and we know that all things
work together for good to those who love God and to those who are called according to His purpose.
Yeah, so may you continue to be called upon God's purpose. And for me and Aubrey, we'll continue to say delight in Him, and bye.